What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we are reacting to another article. It's actually been a second since we've reacted to an article, so I want to do this one. This one's super interesting because, I look at Pro Football Focus a lot, and apparently Pro Football Focus did some off-season predictions, and they did them for our Detroit Lions. They predict that we will sign Melvin Gordon and Kyle Van Noy this offseason. Now, one of those guys I think actually does make sense. Kyle Van Noy, I did a video. If you guys want to check it out, definitely go do it. And Melvin Gordon, we'll see. Let's get into it. All right. So they did break down pretty much everything as I read through most of this, not all of it. They broke down the contracts and everything a little bit. So, that's kind of helpful. I'll give you guys my thoughts as we read through it. But let's get it started. So, like I said, they predict us to get Kyle Van Noy and Melvin Gordon, and they're each top 50 free agents this offseason, according to Pro Football Focus, which I can pretty much get on to. I can see how that's possible. It says the Lions headed to the offseason about $50 million, and then they talk about where he could fit in. Now, one thing I will say is that with the one reason that I could go for the Melvin Gordon thing, like maybe the biggest pro I see here, is bringing in Melvin Gordon to me allows us to potentially trade away Kerryon. And I know that sounds messed up, but that's not, I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, we could get something in return. Kerryon to me is, out of all the running backs, probably has the most potential to get something solid in return, maybe a third-round pick at the highest. I would love that. Probably not, though. Maybe a third or fourth. I don't know. But I think if we brought in Melvin Gordon, then we could add maybe another pick and get rid of him. And, I do like Kerryon Johnson. I've never, I've always said I like the skill, but the problem is he's never healthy. If you can't be healthy, all right, it doesn't really matter how good you are. You're not on the field. And then I think we have some nice depth, like it says, with Ty Johnson and Bo Scarborough behind him. So I think that would make sense. But however, those four running backs, I don't think you want to have Melvin Gordon, Kerryon, Ty Johnson, and Bo Scarborough. Like, I feel like that's just way too many guys in the mix. Okay, next up it says, Pro Football Focus includes the projected contract in addition to rankings. It says Gordon comes at number 39 with an estimated contract of 4 years, $28 million, which actually isn't that bad, $7 million a year, which I can get down with. $15 million guaranteed, not too bad. Kyle Van Noy is right behind him at number 40 with a 3-year, $30.5 million deal, so a little bit higher, $15 million guaranteed as well. I think Kyle Van Noy actually does make a lot of sense. I talked about how when he was with the Lions first, he pretty much didn't have anything. Then he went to the Patriots. He was with Matt Patricia for a year. He balled out with the Patriots. He still is balling out, and now he has a chance to reunite with Matt Patricia. So that could make some sense. Obviously, we love Patriots, so who knows? Then it says someone will end up paying him, Gordon, though, and Detroit seems to be a prime candidate to do that, Pro Football Focus writes. They had a top 10. This to me is interesting. I actually didn't know this, and I've known that the blocking was better last season, but this is really interesting, and I think, good job by Pro Football Focus for sticking this out. I'm upset that I haven't found this out until now. But it says they had a top 10 run blocking unit, but failed to surpass the 25th percentile in team rushing grade as they cycled through multiple backs all season long. So what that tells me is maybe they do need a really good running back, and is Melvin Gordon that guy? Okay, that's the big question here. Now, Melvin Gordon has had one really big season. He averaged over 5 yards per carry that season. We know about the holdout. The only thing I see with Melvin Gordon is, I don't know. If our offensive line probably is better than the Chargers' offensive line, so I will give it that. With the Chargers, though, he has only had that one season over 4 yards per carry. The rest have been like 3 point something. Now, his career average is, I think it's 4 exactly yards per carry. So, it's not bad. 4 yards isn't bad, but it's not like anything crazy. So we'll see. I mean, the health is definitely better than I think Kerryon Johnson's health. So that's obviously good. And he was a Pro Bowl running back, as they mentioned here. It says he ran 162 times for 612 yards and 8 touchdowns. That's all right. Gordon has topped the 1,000-yard mark only once in his 5-year career with the Chargers. Not to mention, he's heading into 27 years old. So I think he hasn't showed me enough where I think it's a lot to go give him a huge contract. However, they're saying only $7 million a year. That's not bad to me, and then you can move Kerryon, possibly get something solid in return. I think that's actually a good idea. Okay, I'm actually in for that. I didn't know our run blocking was that good. I knew it was better. I didn't know it was that good. So good job. This is why I like Pro Football Focus, man. They got these stats that, I'm like, oh, snap. I'm always telling you, I got to come with the numbers. I didn't come with the numbers on this one because I actually didn't know this was the thing, but I'm glad I know now, and knowing that now, Gordon could actually make some sense. He hasn't been like the most exciting or best production running back, so I don't know if we have to do this. But like I said, I think it opens us the door to move on from Kerryon, which I do like Kerryon. The health is just something that hasn't been consistent for him, and it stinks. And then it says Kyle Van Noy. This one to me makes a lot of sense. I really am in for signing Kyle Van Noy back to the Lions. If he wants to sign back, I think that would make a lot of sense. It says he racked up 16.5 sacks and 5 forced fumbles. I just think it would make a lot of sense for Detroit Lions to go get a guy that's familiar with Matt Patricia, who kind of reunites with him, who, when he went to the Patriots, just became a different player from what he was when he was not with, the Detroit Lions. When he was with the Detroit Lions before, he just wasn't a very good player. Van Noy's time with the Lions was under a different coach, and a move back to Detroit would reunite him with former Patriots. Give it to quarterback Matt Patricia. Why, dog? I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I didn't read that, I promise. That's what I said. Look, they're not like reading minds here. Me and Pro Football Focus got. No? Okay. Anyways, that's just kind of weird. That's exactly what I just said. It says the linebacker and current Lions coach won a Super Bowl together in 2016. So, yeah, I think Kyle Van Noy does make a lot of sense. It says 2019 was the first year Kyle Van Noy used almost exclusively as a pass rusher, which we need. So, hey, there you go. Picked up 60 pressures, 8 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, and 43 hurries on 464 rushes. Not bad. So, I think he does make a lot of sense to me. Oh, there's more to it. Okay. The past season, Van Noy played the majority of the snaps as an edge rusher instead of regularly spending time in the box, which I think that's kind of where we need help. I like Devon Kennard on the outside. We could need another guy like that for sure. Pro Focus notes that he thrived in the new focus role with his highest pass rusher grade at 72.1. That's actually pretty good. Total pressures at 58. Of his career. The analytics site also points out that Van Noy ranked 50 spots ahead of Lions linebacker Devon Kennard in terms of pass rushing, and that to me is huge. Again, another thing, this is why I wanted to react to this with you guys instead of me just telling you guys what I think, because this stuff is good. Pro Focus got some good stuff. This is juicy. Devon Kennard gets a lot of pressure. He came up with 7 sacks last season, and to know this, Oh, come on, man. And now we know that sometimes with our defense, like, you're like, okay, how would he fit in? Well, sometimes Flowers plays on the inside because we run the nickel D. If you guys want to see that video, go check it out. But an edge rusher is useful, and we could definitely get one on the field to help out because we need one. And what it looks like here is, hey, it's starting to make a little bit of sense. With 7 sacks this past season for an idea of how non-existent Detroit's pass rush was. Out. That's unfortunate to hear. Lions generated league worst 28 sacks, right, and reached historically bad levels on defense. That's facts. Van Noy and Flowers have worked together under Patricia before, which could draw the two sides closer together. That's what I'm thinking, man. They love Patriots. It's a good fit. Lions general manager Bob Quinn traded Van Noy to New England, which has many questioning the validity. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't do it. I know what it means. I know what it says. I can't say it. I'm moving on. Of this potential reunion, Lions linebacker. The linebacker took the high road when asked about the team that traded him as he prepared to play for a Super Bowl a couple years ago, though. I'll take the blame for it all, Van Noy said. He said, injuries, that kind of set me back. Ultimately, it was me. I don't want anyone else getting the blame. I don't want the coaches getting the blame. Scheme being the problem. I think it's just me. Okay, so right there, he's not throwing any hate. He could reunite for sure. All right, he was feeling good. He was in a Super Bowl, and it doesn't seem like he's throwing any shade, which is obviously a good thing. He says, at the same time, I didn't feel like I was playing that bad. I was improving each week. That's what it's all about. But they wanted to move on from me. So it is what it is. I'm in a better spot right now. I'm in the Super Bowl. Ouch. Okay, that was a little bit of shade. He kind of roasted us there. But hey, I think this makes a lot of sense. Last but not least, defensive lineman Shelby Harris. Oh, I missed that at the beginning. I'm sorry. They have a signing Shelby Harris too. Okay, my bad. I didn't see that. I think I was looking at Shelby Harris yesterday. He says, which is a move that would surely start the process of filling holes on the D-line, which is a must. It says, Harris quietly put together a solid season for Denver with 6 sacks as an interior pass rusher. Pro Football Focus credited him to 28 pressures and a 73.1 pass rush grade on 636 snaps. He's a former 7th-round pick out of Illinois State, and he hits free agency after a solid seasons with 15 sacks from the interior. That's what we need. That's if I'm talking. Y'all know me. You know what I want. You know what I think we need. This is what I think we need, and I'm liking this already. The Lions went from stacked on the interior defensive line in dire need to help. Okay, obviously, right. They went from getting sacked. Oh, we're looking good on that D line. Now we need a lot of help because Daniels is leaving. Snacks is about to retire. I don't know. It's just kind of a mess right now. It says they'll be hunting for talent. They're this free agency, and Shelby Harris is the low-risk, high-reward type of player who fits the bill. After spending 2 seasons with the Raiders with a minimal role back in 2014 and 15, Harris spent the past 3 seasons with the Broncos as a solid role player, recorded an elite 90.4 overall grade. 90.4, that's clean. Okay, I'm just saying. In 2018, was limited on reps, but saw a dip back down to 76.8 and increased the workload in 2019. Assuming his projected contract is what he gets, 3 years, 16.5. That is low. 3 years, 16 mil. That's that's a really good deal for us. And I'm looking at guys for a lot more. I do think we have to get in at least 2 interior 2 defensive linemen this offseason, whether it's draft, free agency and draft, or both in the same. We got to get 2 interior pass rushers, and I think a guy like that could make sense, especially now knowing that. I could have added it to my list yesterday, but who knows. Anyways, I would say my favorite one on here is Kyle Van Noy. I do like Shelby Harris now that I'm reading about it, and I would say the one that I'm not, I think it could make sense if we can move on. I don't think it makes sense if we keep Kerryon. I don't know, unless you get rid of Bo, which I know no one wants to do that, and unless you get rid of Ty, which he was just a rookie and he actually didn't play that bad, so I don't know if I want to do that. You would have to move on from Kerryon, and if you can get a trade and return, it makes sense to me. His production hasn't been great, Melvin Gordon's, but his offensive line also hasn't been great. Okay, I don't know specifically how ungreat they haven't been, but I know they haven't been great. And us, that number that's saying we were top 10 offensive line blocking, and yet we were so bad rushing last season, that shows me that, hey, maybe it really, and I was on the board with Melvin Gordon at first, because I talked about even in the last video where I said not to get him. I said, Melvin Gordon, I had him on here before, then looking at the production, I'm like, nah, don't get him. But in this case, if we could get rid of Kerryon, I think it makes sense. If you can't get rid of Kerryon, I'm not with it. Because I just think there's too many running backs here, and then you're spending too much money. But this deal that they're offering here, that they're saying that he would get $28 million for 4 years, that's not that bad. That's really not that bad. And by the time he would be coming out of that, he'd be 31. So, he'd be just exiting his prime most likely. So, yeah, I mean, it could make sense. I could see that. So, he comes in on the list. And those are 3 guys Pro Football Focus sees us taking. And I'm not going to lie. I like it. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you, Prop, for watching. And I'm out.